Greetings, everybody. Peace and blessings. I had a little technical difference. I had to switch to my phone because somehow my tablet and computer was not connecting. So I'm gonna give everybody a chance to get on. I've sent y'all a invite to come in. Y'all got to click on the invite to come in. I'm gonna give y'all a little history. We have been hearing about Waycross detective Marc Horne assaulting his girlfriend, the mother of his daughter, I do believe. Tonight, and I'm gonna say this, and I've always said this, that Detective Marc Horne is one of the police officers I never heard anything bad about. No complaints, especially out of Waycross. And of course, when I heard this news, I was shocked. Definitely was shocked. But I've never heard anything bad about him until now. And now there's a whole lot of things coming out that he has done. So, with that said, I have the mother of the victim, and the victim herself is going to speak for the first time tonight. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me. I'm gonna make sure. So I'm gonna bring them on camera. They should be. Let me find my other eyes so I can see this, because I had to switch to my phone. So bringing them on camera. Okay, add. There you go. All right, we're bringing them on now. You have to accept. All right, they on. Y'all have to cut your camera on.
Is it on?
I can't see nothing but a black screen. Can y'all see me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then it must be something with my phone or something going on. So if y'all can see me and everybody can see y'all, I don't know why I can't see y'all. Let me check this tablet. So with that said, why don't y'all introduce yourself? Let me try to work out these difficulties.
I'm the one that got beat up, and this is my mama, Kisha. Everybody calls me Boog, though, so if you see my Facebook or comments, what everybody knows me as.
Okay. Validation, I just said. I'm gonna cut that off. I'm trying to find something. I'm not seeing this live. Hold on. Okay, I see y'all now. It must be something with my phone. Is my head cut off?
No.
Okay, so y'all can see everything. I just get back up some because my head is kind of big these days. With all this stuff going on. So, ladies, how are y'all doing today in this bad situation? But the world needs to know.
Not good.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start off with. Let's start off from the beginning. Let me get my notes. Start off at the beginning. The date that this incident happened. Start with that. And how did it lead up to the physical altercation?
It was January 10th. It was real late on January 10th. We took his police vehicles everywhere all the time. That's just the vehicle that we always took. So we drove that to go see some friends. Ended up leaving from there. And as we're going down the road and we're arguing or whatever, long story short, he strikes me in the face with his phone. I get out, throw the phone down. We swap spots in the vehicle. And as I'm sitting in the passenger seat and he's intoxicated driving this police vehicle with my daughter in the back seat. And
okay, hold on. Say that again. So this was actually his personal car or a city car?
City. It was an undercover vehicle.
So his city car that he was using for personal use.
Yes, sir.
And where were y'all coming from?
We were coming from basically Waycross, but it's right there on the Waycross-Nahunta line.
Okay, no city business or nothing like that.
No, sir, none at all.
Okay, continue.
So as the argument continues and everything, needless to say, that's when it got physical. And I remember taking a few blows to the face and getting slung around a little bit. But after I lost consciousness, it's kind of in and out from that point. I can tell you bits and pieces about by the time we got home to the camper. I vividly remember trying to run to his parents and screaming for his parents, asking for help. And he tackled me to the ground and put his hand over my mouth and told me to shut the F up. And at that point, we went back into the camper. And we've had this issue before. And so I know not to try to leave, especially considering that I had my daughter there with me. I wasn't going to risk making him any more mad. So I ended up staying the night there, unfortunately. But the morning after, I was packing my things and I grabbed my pistol, my phone, a few things out of his patrol car, packed my stuff, texted my uncle, asked him to come pick me up. And at that point, I left and did not have anything to do with him up until, obviously, court and us pressing charges and the few conversations in between. So
you did have the baby. Did you get the baby out the car?
afterwards, yes, sir.
Okay.
But all of this, she was in the back seat.
But you did, when you left the vehicle, got out of the vehicle, you took the baby with you.
Yes, sir.
He didn't try to stop you or anything.
Are you talking about when we got to the camper?
Yes, when you got out. Yes.
At that point, I didn't have my baby in my arms. At that point, I got out of the car as fast as I could and ran towards his mom and dad's house.
Okay.
And when it didn't work, that's when I went back and got the baby.
Okay. So, was he drinking? Was he driving the car?
Well, initially, I was driving the car. We've always had this rule where if he drinks, I drive. I drink, he drives. Usually it's...
That's a good thing, but it still was a city vehicle.
Yes, sir. So
Paid
initially...
for by taxpayer dollars.
Yes, sir. So
Okay.
initially, I had a beer or two, and he had his few beers, and we came to the conclusion that I was going to be the one driving. So at that point, I quit drinking. He continued to drink, and needless to say, we got into his government vehicle, and I'm the one driving at this point. So,
Okay.
but during the ride home, we end up swapping spots, and he ends up driving the rest of the duration of the time.
Okay. So, at this point before this, was there any other incidents where y'all had physical altercations?
Yes, sir.
So it has been many other times.
Yes, sir. I've got a video or two and a few pictures of things. I didn't want to leave because I didn't want to break up my family. I
Okay.
was...
And it's understandable. A lot of women, don't know how to get out. And it's understandable, especially in the position he in. As you can see, nothing happened. So at this point, was 911 ever called? Was the police ever called at this point after the assault?
No, sir. So whenever my uncle had picked me up that day, I had told my mom and him that I didn't want to deal with anything at that point. I just wanted to rest. I was in a lot of pain. I was trying to clean myself up and all. So as far as the day of the 11th goes, nothing had been done other than my mom had contacted a county officer to ask what should we do. And he had told us that we needed to take pictures, blah, blah, blah. So that's what we did on the 11th.
Okay. Was this in Brantley County
Yes,
or, huh?
yes, sir. It was in Brantley.
It was Brantley. Okay, so the initial call to what police department did y'all call? Brantley or?
Well, there wasn't a call to the police department at all, actually. My mom had sent an ex-wife of.
He knows their names.
Oh, okay. My mom had sent photos of my face to Kisha Caswell, and she naturally sent it to Casey Caswell. At that point, Casey pulled Marc to the side and was questioning him about the pictures. And whenever they saw the pictures of my face, his major got involved as well. And they made him make a statement at that point in which Marc told me they know, and Major made me make a statement or I would lose my job. And at that point, an investigation started on damages to a cop car, but nothing had been reported about my face until I went to Brantley County the next day to make that report.
Okay. And so basically, Casey Caswell is on the Waycross Police Department, and he had a lot of issues, if I'm not mistaken, about his wife, his ex-wife, things that happened in this. But we're not here to talk about Casey. But what did Casey do at that point?
Nothing. They started an investigation about damages to the cop car, but nothing was reported about the physical abuse or the damages to my face. They didn't contact me. Anything.
So their basic concern was not your well-being, safety, and what was going on, but the damage to a police, his not personal, but his police vehicle, paid for by taxpayer dollars, used for personal use in an altercation that had nothing to do with city business.
Right. And
so that damage.
And they wouldn't have known anything about any damages until Casey got sent to pick my face. And then that's when they had to start some sort of investigation. And rather it being about me and the abuse that I had experienced, it turned into an investigation about the car.
So
what was the damage to the car? I don't want you to tell me what happened. Just tell me what the damage was to the car.
There was a door handle ripped off, the rear view mirror.
Door handle ripped off?
Yes, sir.
Like when you pull the door handle?
It's it was a Chevy Impala. So it was an old like parts car, basically. Just a junk. But the driver's side door handle had been ripped off. The mirror, the rear view mirror had been ripped off, and the side mirror had been broken.
Okay, so at this point, so the mirror was just damaged. It was damaged. The vehicle was damaged. A city vehicle was damaged because it was being used for personal use. In my recollection of the law and what I would think would say, then that's on them. You know, I mean, you took a personal vehicle and involved it, a city vehicle paid for taxpayer dollars. According to the law that I read, if you cannot convert taxpayer dollars into personal use. That is an actual crime, according to Internal Revenue Service. And that would be personal use. And a lot of the police officers do it, especially in Waycross. But anyway, at this point, the next day arrived. What took place?
So the day of the 11th, that's when I said I was resting, I was healing. The day after that is whenever I had started to talk with my mom about filing a report and deciding what I needed to do as far as that went. And that's the day that my mom sent Kisha Caswell the photos. So that was January 12th. January 13th, I had spoken.
Kisha Caswell?
Sir?
Kisha who?
Caswell, Casey Caswell's ex-wife.
Okay, it's ex-wife. Okay.
Anymore, but
So the reason I contacted her is because I knew Casey was Mark's superior boss, however you put it, classify it, whatever. But that's the reason I reached out to her. I knew that she could let Casey know that his detective had put his hands on my daughter and to show them the shape she was in so that something would be done.
Okay.
But instead of that happening, they started trying to cover their tracks by assessing damage to the car and making up some kind of story to defend him so that he wouldn't lose his job.
Basically, they threatened, basically inadvertently, but vertically, threatened her if she pursued these charges, that they were going to charge her for destruction of government property, which was being used for personal use.
They didn't overtly. They come out and said that at the TPO hearing. They sent our lawyer out from the judge's meeting. The two lawyers and the judge had a little powwow before our TPO trial. Our lawyer come out and told us, if she pursues this TPO today,
And who is the lawyer?
Dory Abiera, I don't know how to pronounce her last name.
The
it was
advocate from Magnolia House.
Yeah, Georgia legal advocate.
Oh, that's your lawyer. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
And
well,
Mr.
it was
Adam Kraft was his lawyer still then too.
And
Yeah, Adam Kraft.
Appointed by the. Yeah.
Okay, now
But
let's get back to at any point did he try to back to Marc Horne? At any point did he try to take the child?
No, sir.
Okay.
The only concern he had with the child was whether I was putting him on child support or not. Other than that, he didn't care to see her or ask about her much or anything.
So basically he's a good dad.
Sure.
Huh?
He was very busy with work all the time, and he liked to train and go hunting, and he did a lot of extra classes and stuff at Forsyth all the time. So he wasn't ever really around a whole lot. I mean, he came home, we ate supper, and went to bed, and that was...
Okay. All right, so let's... all right, so at this point, when did Brantley County get involved?
Whenever the internal investigation about the vehicle, they contacted Will Curtin because it being in their jurisdiction or whatever, that he had to pursue the investigation, and he interviewed me and Mark. And that's when Brantley County got involved. Will Curtin is a detective from Brantley County.
Okay, so basically what did Will say to y'all? I know Will.
Well, whenever he interviewed me, he made it very clear that the interview was about the damages to the car. I told him what I felt was safe to tell him for the simple fact of I didn't want Mark to get in trouble. And after that, I asked him if criminal charges were going to be pressed on him for him putting his hands on me. And he said that that's not what he was there for. He was there to investigate the damages to the vehicle and how that happened. So.
Wow. So basically there's no investigation on him putting his hands on you. No arrests, no nothing.
No, sir.
Not at this point.
No, sir.
So they have they interviewed? So basically, Brantley County basically said that they were investigating the damage to a car.
Yes, sir.
To the property. Nothing about. Okay, have you asked them to file a police report?
Yes, sir. I did on the 13th.
Did they file one?
No, sir.
No, sir.
They haven't filed a police report yet?
No, no, sir. It still hasn't been filed. I asked for the incident report, and as far as my statement goes, and me requesting to pursue charges on him, it still hasn't been filed.
Okay, see,
They told me the day that I went in there to press charges that I needed to go get a TPO through the Magnolia House first. So that's what I did.
I mean, that's true too, but the main thing would have been they should have like they actually should have some kind of police report, a document that happened. My suggestion to you is to go to the sheriff himself. I mean, I could, but that's another story. But anyway, but there's no police report. They haven't did a proper investigation. Did you understand? Did you ever talk to the detective? Is he detective, right?
Yes, sir.
And did you ever ask them why haven't they called the GBI in? Have you talked to Waycross PD? Why haven't you called the GBI in for an investigation? Because Brantley County investigating for Ware County is a conflict of interest. They all buddies in the system. My understanding and what the people need to know, why hasn't the GBI been called, as far as you know? Has the GBI even been mentioned?
No, sir. It hadn't been mentioned. And after our TPO case, I continued to reach out to Will Curtin several times. I called, I texted for the last few months, and I haven't got a single response from him. I wanted to know what the update was on the case and the investigation, and he didn't send a text back. He didn't return any of my phone calls, anything. The only reason that I knew that a report hadn't been made because I had been contacting Brantley County Sheriff's Office and asking for an incident report.
So the status of Marc Detective Horne now, well, he's not a detective no more.
Yes, sir, he is. They
still a detective because I had his post certification, and it said it doesn't say detective.
He just informed me a day or two ago that he is, or actually yesterday, when I was FaceTiming my daughter, that he's working as a detective again.
So is he on suspension or anything?
No, sir. He did during the TPO, whenever I had initially filed for the TPO. They gave him suspension with pay, but that's the only thing that had been done, and him being put on patrol for a little while.
So basically this happened in Brantley County. So y'all need to put the pressure on Brantley County to force Brantley County to call in the GBI for the investigation. I would suggest reaching out to Will. Again, I would send him a certified letter demanding that he call the GBI. If he don't want to investigate this, demanding that he call the GBI and let the GBI investigate this, because this is not an assault. This is an aggravated battery. When the battery becomes, when it's a disfragmentation and bruising of dismemberment of the body parts, that is worse than an aggravated assault. That is an aggravated battery. Not to mention the violation of his oath. Like I said, I never heard anything about Marc Horne. So now, at this point, nothing bad about Detective Horne. So at this point, when did the TPO start in the hearing, and who was the judge?
Well, the TPO never got granted. It was just the temporary order.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
To court. But that started. I did my petition on the 14th, and it got approved, or the petition, anyways, had been submitted a few days and got approved a few days after that. Then when we went to court and Judge Kelly Brooks denied my TPO, everything went away.
And what was the reason? Have y'all gotten that order yet?
I haven't seen the order personally, no, sir, but what he ruled and what he stated while we were in the courtroom was that I lied and my story didn't match up with my petition.
Say that again, what?
He stated that my petition and my story that I had given did not match up. He said that I lied.
Okay, what was that? What did you
Um,
say you lied about?
so the discrepancy there is the fact that in the very beginning of my petition, it states that I left the driver's seat and got into the passenger seat. Marc Horne at that point gets out of the passenger seat, walks around the car and gets in the driver's seat. Because my petition did not specifically state that I got out of the car and walked around the vehicle, he claims that I lied and I never told them that I got out of the vehicle.
Well,
Which
let
is
me, let
not,
me explain something to you, and this is not to you personal. I mean, not to you personal or anything to do with you all. This is me personal. Judge Kelly Brooks is an unindicted felon, without a doubt. I can't stand him. With a passion, I hate his mama for having his ass. And I just want to make it real, because this is Real Talk News Network. And he knows this. He is an unindicted felon. He is part of the problem. He is the judicial system. He is the parasite, one of the parasites in his judicial circuit. He is a coward. He uses the bench for his own manipulation. He protects his own. And this is why we need to get people out of office like him. I had an issue with him myself, that I went to jail for filing a petition to the grand jury to indict his ass. And I didn't mean to cuss, but anyway. But he somehow reversed that charges. Now, the charges end up getting dropped. Our attorney got them dropped, and we're now finna initiate a suit against the state for him. So Judge Kelly Brooks is an unindicted felon. Now I tell his ass that to his face. But anyway, he is not a moral man. He is unfair. He borderlines racism and favoritism all the time. But there's some people that can handle him. And I ain't talking about threats. It was his ink pen. That's what I'm talking about, dude. But anyway, so he basically said, you lied.
yes, sir.
And what did your lawyer say?
She didn't really have much to say. We met that day. My Georgia legal advocate and myself, I had sent her the emails of my evidence and everything else, but it was so last minute. And on top of that, she had to come from wherever she came from. So I didn't meet her until the morning of our TPO case. So she wasn't really prepared to take on the case anyway. So she didn't have a whole lot to say.
We didn't know it was going to be a case. We didn't know we were going in there fighting for our life. We thought she would tell her side of the story and he'd tell his, and they would grant the TPO. We would walk out of there.
The hearing ended up
So basically, the judge failed to protect you on his own assumption, not about the law, but his own assumption and opinion about a police officer beating you.
Well,
And he protected the police officer.
they got wrapped up in details of the story that are not even important to the abuse part of the story. Like, it doesn't matter how she got around the car. It don't matter if she crawled through the seat or if she ran around the front of the car, she ran around the back of the car. What matters is that he hit her in the face with his phone. What matters is he got in the driver's side, drunk, driving that car, and then he turned to her and started punching her going down the road with their baby in the car and punching her until she went unconscious.
So let me, have y'all filed a complaint with defects? So let me explain this here. Where's defects at? Defects always running up on people, the police always calling defects on people that gets in arguments and fights and bruises and cuts. And so why they didn't call defects on this?
I have no idea.
Defects could have came in and stepped in and it stopped all his authority with that move he did. But that tells you that's that system of buddy system that they live by. They don't live by laws, rules, and regulations. They only live by their own creed and what they feel the laws is. My opinion, Judge J. Kelly Brooks should have never been a Judge Kelly Brooks or whatever, Shelley Brooks or whatever his name is, should have never been a judge in history. Should have never been a lawyer, because that's all most of them is lawyers. who can tell the best lie. But
Like then he got to be oversee her legitimization case also, and he already had his mind made about her. And to me, that was very biased of him. Like if
so was it? What did it say? Say it again about the legitimization.
He was the judge over the legitimation case, which I accepted the legitimation. I stated that yes, he was the father, but this also tied in our child custody case. And this is the case where he granted my 7-month-old daughter 50-50 custody with him. So now, including in this very moment, I haven't seen my daughter in however many days since Friday because she's with her father. And
Well, the thing about it is, tell me this: that the judge did, if the judge Brooks did order, if I'm not mistaken, that he could not take the child to his house.
he couldn't sleep at his house. What he did during the day was his business and it was fine, but he couldn't stay the night at his house. Whenever him and the baby went to sleep, they needed to be at his mother's house.
Oh, okay. So he couldn't stay at the house. Okay. I mean, that in itself makes it kind of strange, but I've never seen a judge. How old the baby?
She was 5 months old when the incident happened. She's 7 months old now.
Yeah, so I've never seen a judge in history give 50-50 or any concern to a non-custodial parent who had no rights when a child is born out of wedlock. 50-50. That has never been heard. Now, I heard rumors. I don't know if y'all heard this rumors. I heard rumors that Detective Horne attorney, and who was his attorney? Detective Horne.
Adam Kraft.
Adam Kraft.
Oh, Lord. That's right. I forgot another clown. But I didn't say that. I'm sorry. But anyway, I heard that him and the judge were having dinner together. And Jerry J's, if that's true or not. If anybody ever saw Judge J. Kelly Brooks, Judge Kelly Brooks, and Kraft eating at Jerry J's, please inbox me, reach out, and let me know if y'all got some videos on things, because these are two unindicted felons that really need to go somewhere.
Yes, sir.
But I've never heard of that. We got to get y'all. We got to get you. We got to get y'all a lawyer. I don't know where the lawyers stand on this, but most lawyers that's from this judicial circuit are buddies. They're not going to go against each other. They're friends. They eat dinner. They talk. They make deals about your life. So you have to get a lawyer, in my opinion, that is from a different judicial circuit that has no allegiance to this judicial circuit. So they'll come in and deal with nothing but what the law says.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at that point, as of now, no charges, no investigation whatsoever by outside agencies like the GBI on a domestic violence of a city detective for Waycross.
That's right.
And at this point, he has custody, not custody, but 50-50 custody, but he had possession of the daughter for how long?
He's had her since Friday, and he'll have her up until this Friday. It's a week on, a week off. And she's never been away from me since the day she was born. Not for longer than
7 days. So Judge Brooks, have y'all actually tried to talk to defects?
No.
Not personally, no, sir.
If I was y'all, I would make a visit to the defects office. And I shouldn't have said that on here because I know they're listening. But if I was y'all, I would pay a ticket defect and explain the defects, what happened. Because it involves a child. That's a whole different ball game.
Yeah. It's amazing to me that they can take a child that small away from their mother. I mean, they're still in the nurturing stage and all. And I don't know. I didn't doing that with someone.
Yeah.
I mean, she's never been away from her mama, and every time we do call and FaceTime, Trista calls and FaceTimes them at 7 or 8 every night, and she's crying, and she wants her mama. You know that's what's wrong with her. She's not used to being away from her.
Well, it's not normal for a man to take a child from a mother at that age, period, unless she's just a bad mama, you know. That just doesn't happen. But
well, we don't believe that Marc wants the baby. We just don't think he wants to pay child support. I mean, at this point, we're willing to
you still got to pay child support. 50-50 custody don't mean that you don't pay child support.
Well, that's what Judge Brooks ruled. But
so what did he say?
There's no child support. It's just 50-50. He gets her for a week. I get her for a week. But honestly,
there's no child support. But 50-50 custody does not work like that. Y'all need to read up on it again. What did y'all lawyer? Got a lawyer? What is the lawyer saying?
It's funny you say that. Not a whole lot, because I had a whole case built for him, and I brought him all the evidence, and I did his job for him, and I tried to explain to him that the judge that we were going in front of had already dealt with him before, and that it wasn't going to be fair, and that he needed to be prepared for this case. And he kept reassuring me, to worry about it. They're not going to take a child from you because she's under a year old. It's unheard of.
He kept saying they have to prove you unfit.
So basically, she ain't fighting for y'all like she's supposed to.
Well, this is a different lawyer at this point. This is Lee Ashmore.
We paid good money for this one.
So who is the lawyer y'all got now?
Lee Ashmore.
Who?
Lee Ashmore from Brunswick.
I ain't never heard of him. So what is he saying?
Nothing.
He
called me and he apologized. He said that maybe he should have listened to me and took my advice, that he didn't think that that was even possible for that to happen. And since then, I've tried to, get things fixed, and nothing's happened. So
we asked about maybe doing an appeal. He said that could take up to a year. We've asked if we had options.
Well, I mean, he's correct about that, but I mean, there's other stuff you could do. I also say y'all need to find another attorney, somebody that's show enough, go get them, and don't play radio with them. Judges are not immune to the law, people. That's a lot of people don't understand that. You just got to know how to file the proper paperwork. And so this lawyer is still representing y'all.
No, sir. It was just for the custody case. I mean, as far as custody goes, yes, sir, he's my lawyer. But if anything in the future,
so he was just representing you on the custody case.
Right.
Yes,
so
sir.
So the status now that's not doing anything, that they have not arrested this man yet. He still is a detective in Waycross on the police department. And he has 50-50 custody of a child that he shouldn't have, even if it's his. It's still he shouldn't have custody of him like that. 50-50. I've never heard a judge of a child that long giving you 50-50 custody. What did you in the petition for custody? What was said? I mean, what was the petition for full custody?
Yes, sir.
It was your petition for full custody.
He wanted to be the primary custodian, and from my understanding, anyways, I could be wrong, but from my understanding, he wanted to be the primary custodian, and he wanted me to pay him child support. That's what he petitioned for, and instead.
So he petitioned the court, or you petitioned?
He petitioned.
So he petitioned the court. His lawyer, Adam Kraft, petitioned the court.
Yes, sir. They served me with the legitimation papers, and along with that came the custody papers.
And he got 50-50.
Yes, sir.
Unbelievable. So,
Yeah.
well, people, we're going to cut this. We got all the stuff out. People wanted to hear what happened. You have a detective that beat his girlfriend, is the mother of his child, unconscious, bloody unconscious, and nothing has been done
It
about
wasn't
it.
conscious. My nose was broke, and I have compression fractures in my spine.
So, so he has, nothing has been done. What you got to do is put pressure on Bradley County. Y'all got to, because technically it's out of Waycross' hand, because it didn't happen in Waycross or Ware County. Uh, uh, y'all sure it didn't happen in Ware County?
Yes, sir. I'm positive.
Okay. Because if it happened in Ware County, I assure you, the sheriff now, if he liked Randy Roy, Mark would have been in handcuffs.
Well, I spoke to Bentley County Sheriff, him and Will Curtin. I spoke to them at the same time in his office when I told them I wanted to press charges. They both heard my statement.
The sheriff seen her face and how bad a shape she was in.
And at the
You
time,
talk about the Brantley County sheriff.
The Brantley County Sheriff, we sat in his office with Will, and he saw her face and how bad she looked.
And at the time when I was moved my jaw.
Have y'all reached out to him and asked him why haven't they called his GBI? Why hasn't this man been arrested? And why hasn't a police report, incident report been generated?
Well, I've reached out to Will Curtin a lot, but like I said, there's been no answer. So
we hadn't reached out to nobody else. Once we got the judgment from the 50-50 custody is when I made the TikTok video, and then we started talking to social media because we knew that the police wasn't helping us anymore.
Oh yeah, let's talk about. Didn't you get a cease and desist letter?
I did. I was causing too much commotion for him. I was hurting his feelings.
Well, let me explain something about the cease and desist letters, people, that you get from these lawyers. They ain't worth the paper they printed on at all. You don't have authority to tell me to cease and desist outside the courtroom, no way. I mean, you ain't a judge. You ain't got that power yet. And the cease and desist order, as long as you tell the truth, your cease and desist order ain't worth the paper it's printed on. As long as you're telling the truth. And you, Waycross, Brantley County, Ware County, y'all failed in this case. Y'all have failed to get justice because you protect one of your own.
That's right.
Like I said, I don't know Marc Horne personally. I never had anyone say anything bad. I assumed he was one of the good detectives. I've heard his name before. That's what I assume. Until now, all this stuff is coming out. There's more and more people now that's coming forth on things he have done to them. I've gotten several of them that have come up forward. So if anybody got any complaints on things that this detective allegedly did or supposedly did, then inbox me. Let's bring them to the light, because a closed mouth don't get fed. So, have you reached out to the FBI?
No, sir, I have not.
Well, we ain't gonna talk about that, but that's an option. Because this is if they have failed to investigate this, they have failed to lay hands on them. And I have one guy, a couple of people inboxed me, and I'm going to ask you this. And they said, well, you don't know the whole story. And one guy said she deserved it. So, to that guy that said she deserved it, no woman deserves to be beaten by men. I don't care if she slapped him. I don't care if she kicked him in the balls. No man, woman deserves to be beaten to a bloody pulp unconscious by a man.
He admitted in court that I never put my hands on him. He admitted in court that I never touched him.
And we had some.
You know, that's what they say. They say you hit him. I heard several complaints that you hit him. Even if she did, y'all, it's not worth him beating the mother of his child like that. And I heard to say this, the statistics, 40% of law enforcement officers are abusive to their mates. 40% people. I told my daughter, if a man ever lay his hands on you, send his ass home to glory. So no other woman got to worry about it. Like I said, I wasn't there, but no man has an excuse to put his hand on a woman, no matter how many anger you get. And then people, I've seen people use to, oh, he was drunk, he didn't mean it, he didn't mean it. Listen, alcohol is not a memory. Alcohol makes your true feelings come out. I don't drink, but those who drink and the things they say are their true feelings. There's nothing that alcohol makes you say that you don't want to say. There's nothing that alcohol does that make you want it, that what you done or hit or killed or whatever you need to do to somebody that you did when you was drunk that you didn't want to do, and it just made it come out of you.
Right.
And then people talk about they don't remember, they was drunk. Ain't nothing in alcohol that say memory suppressor at all. So you remember. But anyway, if y'all want to just say something before I close it out and let the people know what you're trying to do. I mean, we definitely, people are going to start some kind of GoFundMe to get her a good attorney to get all this crooked mess, and even maybe do a change of venue and get it away from this crooked, this Waycross crooked jurisdiction. Because she won't never get justice there.
The most important thing to us right now is getting this 50-50 overturned.
Yeah,
I mean,
because 50-50,
that's the most.
50-50 is a 50-50 can make your life a living hell. And by him being in the police department, in his position he in, he can use that to his advantage. As you can see, ain't nobody arrested him. And then I want to say this to all you so-called law enforcement officers that sign affidavits. I can understand Casey Castle was signing because Casey is the asshole. I hate to say it. If something happened to Casey, I would have a party. He's just that much. He killed Jack Lamar, one of the officers that killed Jack Lamar Roberson in cold blood in front of his mother and his 8-year-old daughter, or 9-year-old daughter at the time. In cold blood. And he had a grill fork in his hand. Y'all got all this protecting him and Scott Rao. Got it. All this protection on y'all. And y'all shot a man to death in front of his family because he had a grill fork. The use of deadly force, y'all need to go back to training on that. The use of deadly force is at last resort. That's the part y'all forgot to read. But anyway, all these people, these officers that signed affidavits supporting the actions of Marc Horne proves that y'all live by a system, a creed to watch each other back. No matter what law you break, no matter what you do, we watch each other back. There's a law, and I'm gonna look it up and give it to y'all before I go, because I meant to do this on the post, and I'm gonna add it to the post, and I'm gonna read this to you. Hold up real quick. OCGA. All right, here it is. There's a law called Code of Ethics. And all government services have them. All government services in the state of Georgia. Police, city, counties, state, whatever. And it clearly says, hold on. And it's OCGA coming up, loading. It's OCGA 451-1. Code of Ethics, Conflicts of Interest, Code of Ethics, Government Services, 4510-1. Established. And it's got a whole grounds, and I ain't gonna read all of them. It says, seek to find employee more effective, never discriminate unfairly, make no private promises, engage in no business with the government, either directly or indirectly, and never use information. And it's a whole thing, but y'all need to read that, and I'll post it in this post. That all governmental services, that they supposed to expose corruption from within. So all of y'all that signed that oath are in violation of your code of ethics. But that lets you know, man, how it goes. But with that said, y'all wanted it, y'all got it, the full story. It is. I had to do a little cussing in here, y'all. It wouldn't be real talk if I wouldn't did it. But
Thank you for covering it for us.
For furthermore, you're welcome. And with that said, y'all, we're going to bid y'all a good night. Y'all share this. Talk about this. Spread this. And we're going to get together and we're going to get something in place to get her an attorney that will come. Maybe we can get Bing Crump. I bet we cross and shut up then, won't I? But to get her an attorney to get this 50-50 thing on. That was the insult. Joseph Kelly Brooks, I just tell you. Your day coming. Your day coming. When it comes, I hope I be here to just laugh my ass off. That's all. But anyway, y'all have a good night. We'll see y'all Real Talk News Network. Share this. Everybody share it on all their social media accounts. Share it to your friends to share it with their friends. And let's bring attention to the drama, to the violence within the Waycross police departments, or those who are supposed to serve and protect. And I'm sure once you do a little digging, we may find some other stuff. So, but I have ordered all his case records from all the places he's been working, and we'll see.
All right.
With that said, y'all, I bid y'all a good night. Peace and blessings. I appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.
Take it easy. All right, you're welcome.